Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. Hop, hello. Okay. We start the tech news review now. Okay. Lower. Let me change the music real quick. Okay. First news. Oh, it's not there. Up here it is. First news. Denmark is boycotting American apps, it seems, which is, I think, very funny. Hello, Yannick. How are you? How are you, Yannick? I was just about to begin. I'm good. How are you? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm starting the tech news review. Today, there's not a lot of subjects. There's like 9 or 10, something. And 2 memes at the end. I mean, no, 1 serious and 1 meme. So it should go faster than usual, I hope. Let's see. Danish people are boycotting American apps, which is funny. Not unexpected, of course, given what the crazy stuff that Trump has said at Davos and, last few weeks, basically. European consumers are fighting back against the US following Trump's threats to take control of Greenland, a Danish territory. As a result, 2 mobile apps that offer a way to determine if products are made in America then suggest local alternatives have surged to the top of the Danish App Store in recent days. The Danish App Store serves users in both Greenland and Denmark, and the same is true for Google Play. The boost in downloads comes as Danish consumers have been organizing a grassroots boycott of American-made products, which also included canceling their US vacations and ditching their subscriptions to US-based streaming services like Netflix. Yeah, I guess at least with Spotify they're good because Spotify is like Swedish, right? But yeah, all the other ones. Across both iOS and Android, 2 apps, Non-USA and Madometer, have entered the top 10 this month, according to new data from market intelligence provider App Figures. That's funny. Is it because like Danish people are just very patriotic by default, or is it only because they hate Trump? Like this would be funny to know. So yeah, funny story about the Danes boycotting America. Next, yeah, I changed the swish. Now it's like I took the click from Zenkan actually. Since I already had click buttons. It's less, it's more, it's less or it's more, like this. At Davos, also funny, but not of big importance, but I just found this very funny. Since there's not a lot of news today, so I just took those that I found was kind of funny. So Dario Amodei, who is Anthropic CEO, basically compared, during like a talk, the kind of talk that they have at Davos. he compared NVIDIA to a nuclear weapons arms dealer when he was asked about like what do you think about the US sending NVIDIA chips to China, he was like, well, that's very bad because AI is going to become a weapon of mass destructions. My good old effective altruists, of course, being very, 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 very big AI doomers usually. So yeah, I guess he just not, you know, he just reminded everyone that he's this kind of guy, the kind of guy that says, "Oh yeah, AI is going to kill us all, but let me make it first," It's very funny. Yeah. Last week, after reversing an earlier ban, so the US administration officially approved the sale of NVIDIA H200 chips along with a chip line by AMD to approved Chinese customers, which, by the way, China might not even fully accept. Like, they might actually prevent their own suppliers from buying those chips. They would rather Chinese companies buy Chinese chips, which they are making. It's just that they are a few years, lagging, but still they are making them. Maybe they aren't these chip makers' shiniest, most advanced chips, but they're high performance processors used for AI, making the export controversial. And the World Economic Forum in Davos on Tuesday, Anthropic CEO Dario unloaded on both the administration and the chip companies over the decisions. The criticism was particularly notable because one of those chip makers, NVIDIA, is a major partner and investor in Anthropic, which is even more funny. They literally are partnering with NVIDIA. And this guy says this. The CEOs of these companies says it's the embargo on chips that's holding us back. Ah yeah, it's Amodei that says that. Amodei say, incredulous, in response to a question about the new rules. The decision is going to come back to bite the US. We are many years ahead of China in terms of our ability to make chips, he told Bloomberg's editor-in-chief, who was interviewing him. So I think it would be a big mistake to ship these chips. Amodei then painted an alarming picture of what's at stake, as you expect from an AI doomer, of course. I mean, semi-doomer, I guess. He talked about the incredible national security implications of AI models that represent essentially cognition, that are essentially intelligence. Wonderful sentence, my dear Mr. Amodei. Wonderful sentence. AI models represent cognition that are essentially intelligence. Okay. He likened future AI to a country of geniuses in a data center. They really love this metaphor. Huh? Sam Altman also used this metaphor a bunch of times, I remember, right? They just love this thing. Saying to imagine 100 million people smarter than any Nobel Prize winner, all under the control of one country or another. The image underscored why he thinks chip exports matter so much. But then came the biggest blow. I think this is crazy, Amodei said in the administration's latest move. It's a bit like it's a bit like selling nuclear weapons to North Korea and bragging that Boeing make the casings. Damn, boy, like that's a big statement for some data center chips. God damn it. That sound you hear? The team at NVIDIA screaming into their phones. NVIDIA isn't just another chip company. While Anthropic runs on the server of Microsoft and Amazon and Google, NVIDIA alone supplies the GPUs that power Anthropic's AI model. Every cloud provider needs NVIDIA GPUs. Not only does NVIDIA sit at the center of everything, but it also recently announced it was investing in Anthropic to the tune of up to 10 billion. Oh, wait, so they are investing in Anthropic. Wow. Maybe it was just an unguarded moment. It's possible he got swept up in his own rhetoric and blurted out the analogy. I guess that's what it is, but it's still a pretty fucked up thing to say, I think. But given Anthropic's strong position in the AI market, it seems more likely he felt comfortable speaking with confidence. The company has raised billions, is valued in the hundreds of billions, and its cloud coding assistant has developed a reputation as a highly beloved and top-tier AI coding tool, particularly among developers working on complex real-world projects. This is true. It's also entirely possible that Anthropic genuinely fears Chinese AI labs and wants Washington to act. Maybe, and that's more probable to me, even though I don't think this is what's happening, because I think what he said, it's just, he just talked into a purely like ideological, point of view here. He just said what he has deep in his guts, even though it's somehow not uh very consistent with what he's doing as the CEO in Anthropic, whatever. Humans are full of contradictions. If you want to get someone's attention, nuclear proliferation comparisons are probably a pretty effective way to do it. That's right. Yeah, so basically, and basically nobody cared after. Funny, People are crazy, huh? Like, is there like a pattern where every time someone becomes a CEO or famous or whatever, they start to become crazily unhinged, like Musk, Trump. They don't control what they don't filter out what they say anymore. Is there a pattern like that? Like, is there a psychological explanation for why this is happening too? I mean, of course, I guess not too many people, because we are still mostly hearing these kinds of things from Elon and Trump, but still, it's funny, phenomenal. Next topic. Google snatches again another startup. They are snatching a lot, and they are again acqui-hiring, not buying the company, which is, I guess, the brand new way of your startup being acquired, is that you are fucking up all of your co-workers that have shared on your shares on your company. do, you remember, like, it should be so annoying to the developers, because like now, if this becomes, if the new, because let me read and then I'll explain. The top talent behind yet another promising AI startup has been gobbled up by an incumbent. As part of a new licensing agreement, Google DeepMind is bringing on the CEO and several, but not all, of the top engineers at voice AI startup Hume AI. What's left of Hume AI will continue to supply its technology to other AI firms. No financial details of the deal were shared. TechCrunch has reached out to Google and Hume AI to confirm the news. CEO Alan Cowen and about 7 other engineers will work with DeepMind to improve Gemini's voice features. The Hume acqui-hire is the latest example of a leading AI firm scooping top talent of the market, that's Google, and squirting regulatory scrutiny by acquiring a startup's team rather than the company outright. That's right. That's the new meta, in acquiring startups if you're a big, trillion-dollar company. Last year, Google acquired viral AI coding startup Windsurf, CEO, and other top researchers, and OpenAI has acquired several startups teams in recent months, including Covongo and Roy. The Federal Trade Commission recently said that it would take a closer look at such deal. Yeah, right? Because I guess they do that just to not have to, declare it, to the full scrutiny of the federal regulation, I guess. The deal also showed that voice is becoming the next frontier in AI. Yeah, it's true. Hume's, I mean, also recently I interacted with Gemini's AI, like voice AI, and it is kind of dog shit. It doesn't let you talk. It responds even though you haven't finished. Like, it's horrible. So if they can, enhance their stuff, that would be cool. Hume's AI secret sauce is the model's ability to understand a user's emotions and mood based on their voice. In 2024, the startup launched its empathetic voice interface, a conversational AI with emotional intelligence. Hume AI has raised close to 80 million to date, according to PitchBook, and expects to bring in 100 million revenue this year for Wire. Okay. So what I think is a bit fucked up with these kinds of acqui-hire new meta into the acquisition of startups is that basically, like, imagine you are an engineer and you are an engineer, a good engineer. That sounds cool, but also very scary. I don't know if I want the AI to know how I feel. Yes, yeah, me too. Me too for the emotional stuff. Yeah. Me too. I guess I would like more the AI to understand what I want, from the conversation, and if I'm done talking or not. For example, just this simple thing would satisfy me, because time and again, I remember, especially with ChatGPT, sometimes I try to use the voice mode and I'm starting to ask a long ass question, and then I stop just like 1 or 2 seconds to think about what I want to say next. And then he starts answering, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I need to redo it again, you know? And the worst is that, so I stop, he start answering, then I continue, and then I'm like, hey, stop, I was not done. And he's like, yeah, okay, what can I do for you? And then I ask, like, do you remember what I said just before? No, I don't. What do you want? Yeah. And I'm like, these kinds of annoying interactions where, like, well, let me talk. Just let me talk. God damn it. You know? And so, yeah, so back to my explanation of why this sucks for startup, that now big companies are starting to acquire instead of buying the entire company. The problem with that is that, imagine you're a good engineer, right? You're a good engineer. I don't know, you have a stable job at a big corporate, juggernaut, like a lot of engineers have, software engineers have. And you have an opportunity to join a small startup that might be dead in 3 years, right? But that might also live. And the guy is willing to give you 0.5% or 1% of the company to join, Okay. And sometimes even if you're like the 12th or the 20th or the 100th employee, if these companies become big, they or get bought by other companies at a high price, even 0.5% of a company can mean like millions of dollars, So sometimes it's good to accept to have, like, to be employed at a normal salary in a risky company, but you get like 0.5% or 1% or something. The problem with these acqui-hires is that one of a sudden, even when the company does well enough to be bought out by the big Google and Amazon juggernaut of our time, with the acqui-hire, the 12th employee with the 0.5% is not going to get any money, because what's happening is that the big guy comes to the top executive or top engineering team of the company and says, hey, I'm going to hire you, and then I give each of you, like, I don't know, 5 million of Google stock vested over the next 7 years or something. And then I hire you. And then you just leave your company, and I don't give a shit about your company. And so you basically have a founding team of a startup that was acquired by Google. The problem is It's only the founding team that got the money. All the employees of the startup are not going to get any money from the deal, even though literally the startup got acquired, and that sucks for all the engineers, all the people who have some stakes. That also sucks for the investors. You imagine you invested your money into a startup or something for the VCs or whatever, and then the founding team basically leaves the startup with all the IP, all the thing that they did, or whatever, or even if they don't live with the IP, because I guess legally it would be illegal, but they leave to another company with all the technical know-how, and even if they can't bring with them the entirety of the IP, at the same time, if they want, while they're still here, they can decide to have a deal with the other company to sell the IP. So like it's literally the worst of both worlds for the startup and the startup employees. For the founders, it's great, right? They fucked in the ass all of their coworkers that they hired, by telling them, oh yeah, we're going to give you 0.5%, and when we get bought by Google, oh, you'll get a cut. Hop là, dans le cul, in the ass. You thought you were gonna get money from Google? No, no, no. I, the CEO, and all the founding teams, yeah, the top 7 people of these 50-person startups, they're going to get some money and some Google stocks and some, good salaries and wages at Google. But you're not. You're staying here in the empty shell that is left. And same with the investors. Like the investors, I guess they're not getting their money back. They're getting fucked in the ass too. So like, how is this going to pan out over the long term? Because like now, as an engineer and even as an investor, now that this thing has become, the law of like a new meta of acquiring startups, now it means that if I'm an investor, I need to account for the fact that maybe the founding team that I'm putting my money on right now might just leave the fucking company that they swore to develop and to, grow to become a billion-dollar company. They might just leave being sucked out by Google, giving them individually, not to the company that I invested in, stocks. Like this is fucked up. Like then you don't invest if this is the potential prospect. It's fucked up. Like how is this going to structure the future of Silicon Valley if every VC like thinks that 50% of the startups is investing in are going to be like the founding team is going to be acqui-hired, and the rest of the employees will be like, and so when the founding team, like the founding team in a startup is like it's the lifeblood, it's the culture, it's you know you can't just replace a founding team with some random hired contractors or whatever. This doesn't how that's not how it works. That's like, so of course there is like a federal a regulation aspect to it, which is, I guess, they don't have to fill out the same paperwork when they do an acqui-hire compared to a full acquisition. But still, even just for the employees and also for the investors, like whoa, because with the full acquisition, which was the norm before, I feel like it was good for everybody, right? Like the big company eliminated a potential competitor, and all the employees, especially the early employees that got some shares when they were hired, got some money. some good money. The investors also got their money because their shares were bought out by the big company. You know, so everybody was happy. But these acqui-hires, like, there's only the founding team that's happy, and all the other the investors and the employees, they're just fucked in the ass by this. It doesn't seem very sustainable of a practice, but whatever. Let's see. Huh? Let's see what happens with Silicon Valley, I guess. Next topic. Meta abandons the metaverse after 73 billion spent. Meta's enormous bet on virtual reality ended last week, with the company reportedly laying off roughly 1,500 employees. Damn, that's a lot of employees. From its Reality Labs division. About 10% of the unit staff. Reality Labs had 15,000 employees. What the fuck are they doing with their time? This thing is dead. What the hell? Really? And like nobody uses the metaverse, the or Horizon worlds and all that stuff. Like, what are these fuckers doing with their time? It's crazy. It's a huge reversal for a company that just 4 years ago staked its entire identity on the concept. I mean, yeah, but you know, like, yeah, they should have just go with VR and not the fucking metaverse, because there's a lot of potential, and even there's a lot of application and games that are being played by people. You know, the one I mostly know and that I think might be still the biggest VR game is VR chat, of course. You know, if you go to Steam charts, VR chat, VR chat yesterday got 46,000 people playing this game slash social, you know, app. 46,000 people every day connect to VR chat. So that's a fairly successful game, huh? Especially in this niche that is VR, right? So some apps are, some VR apps, some VR social apps, social, you know, games or whatever, are working like VR chat. And it's growing, right? Look at these charts. 2020, 2022, 2024, 2026. It's growing. You know? It's going up. So yeah, some things work, right? It's just that for some reason, Facebook Meta wanted to really pound on one thing that just failed. And also, like, you know, they really went at it with a very like naive mindset, and it's like they didn't even care about like trying to, you know, hire some VR chat employees, for example, you know, like to get to understand what they could do similar or something. No, they really went at it fully naive, fully without preparation. And look at this bullshit. They couldn't even have legs. Legs have been solved by VR chat and other apps since like 10 years ago. Like, what do you mean? They have so many employees and they ship so little. Like, something is wrong with, yeah. Few are going to miss it. Yeah, as industry watchers might remember, Facebook rebranded itself as Meta in 2021, promising to usher in a new era of technology led by VR devices. In part, the decision was a bet on Gen Z's preference to socialize in online games like Fortnite and Roblox, as opposed to traditional social media apps. Well, yeah, but for that, you need a game like Fortnite and Roblox. And your fucking game was not this one. Hi, Lonat. How are you? Over the years, the brand has been damaged by data privacy scandals like Cambridge Analytica reports from Facebook, congressional hearing. Yeah, but that's not why it failed. It failed because the game was lame. Meta's vision at the time was that the metaverse would be the next big social platform. No. Where users connected in virtual world via Meta Horizon Worlds app and played VR games on their VR headset. Fast forward, and the metaverse has effectively been abandoned in favor of AI. It really feels like Zuck, changes ideas you know, every few months or something. And he's just willing to bet everything every time. But he failed at VR, even though he could have done something cool with VR, right? If only he didn't want to make this fucking lame ass social media platform. I mean, bon, I guess the Quest is actually interesting. Is It's a good VR headset. It's just on the software side, bon, I'm not sure it's that good. At least what he envisioned failed. And now with AI, they don't even ship AI models anymore. Like they haven't shipped a llama model for the last what 6 months, a year or something, 1 year. They just stopped. you know, it feels like there is something deeply rotten in Mark Zuckerberg's management or the way he hires people or the way he, put people in charge, or maybe, I don't know. There is something that is fucked up within Meta, huh? Because, like, for now, it really feels like every big bet of Zuck of the last. I don't know. I mean, I guess the smart glasses actually kind of is working, kind of. Bon, the same way the VR headsets, the Meta Quest is kind of working. But still, like, yeah, like this was just so funny, in how it's connected he was. Nice job, team. Exactly. Nice job, team. I'm a human. Yeah, we're all human. I'm a human. We're all human. A tiny percentage of Meta's user base will be VR. Yeah. I mean, like they have some successes. It's just a shame that the Meta Quest, which is the only thing that like sold a bunch, were actually sold at a loss. Sad. Sad for the financial, for the financials of Meta, I guess. But they did sold a bunch. 3.5 billion daily active users across Facebook, WhatsApp. No, yeah. But for some reason, like they have a bunch of daily active users, but Meta really it seems like structurally incapable of like making something that interests those 3.5 billion users, which is crazy if you think about it. Like Meta has tried to put like AI role play models in Facebook, I think, like talk to authoritative dad or something, like AI chatbots similar to character AI. That was fucking weird. Nobody like liked it. Um, like it's very mysterious. Like to me, it seems like the typical corporate bloat, bureaucratic, kind of organization. I still don't understand who the metaverse was intended for. Well, I guess it was intended for everyone, but I mean, for example, VR chat has a very is not intended for everyone. You know, except sometimes where when there was the Ugandan knuckle meme or whatever. I guess it was the only moment where maybe there was some mainstream people on the app, but mostly since there's some communities of weird people are in there, basically. There's just a communities of very specific people with very specific needs who go on VR chat. It's either the furries, uh, it's people who don't like or the trans people also like to go on VR chat because they can take a feminine avatar, whatever, you know, and other people who just like to socialize a lot, so and so it's good for them. But most people, I think, are not interested in having a regular VR chat, experience. And Zuck failed. I think Zuck failed to recognize that the VR chat audience that he could have tried to snatch, was actually very, very specific, and he never cared about catering to this audience, to these kinds of communities. Like there's a very big anime community, role playing anime community on VR chat. Like, it's like young people who wear their favorite anime character, avatar, and they do like special effects, for the attacks or the magic or whatever. They are doing this a lot in VR chat. There's the furries that have their furry world or whatever, uh, and their furry avatars. There's e-boy, also like VR e-boys, e-girls who just want to have a virtual boyfriend, maybe because they don't like how they look. They are too shy to go in the real world, so they just escape to this virtual world where they can have a cute boyfriend or a cute girlfriend, even though they might not be as cute or something. I don't know. Or maybe they're too shy, you know? There's a bunch of people who use VR chat because they need it, like especially outside of the big mainstream meme moments, that bring a lot of new people. But those who stay and go regularly, um, it's usually those kinds of communities like this, yeah. Well, and there's also more normal people. I came on VR chat for the for the my world, my artistic stuff, worlds, and also to visit the world because there's a lot of very cool worlds that people make. So I was world hopping. So there's also a community of world hoppers. There's also a community of people who are just interested in VR in general, technically speaking. So they are creating avatars, they are creating VR worlds, VR experiences, because, in VR chat, you can create stuff in Unity. So, there's all these kinds of people. And he never cared to, like, Zuck never cared to try to get any of those communities on his platform. And so, of course, they didn't come. They didn't go. They stayed on VR chat, because like he cared for a very narrow, I mean, non-existing mainstream audience. I think he wanted this to become like the Facebook of VR, but the problem is that the mainstream people that you see on Facebook, they're not interested in VR. It's very specific people who are invested in VR. And Zuck just didn't care about those very specific people who could have used his app, so of course it failed. Like, it doesn't sound fun. It's really, really corporate, but no company does VR meetings. And also it looks like ass. Yeah, in addition to that, yes. Yeah, people would rather have a Zoom meeting than a fucking VR meeting where you need to have your headset or whatever. No, this is ridiculous. No, it's it's just that I really think that Zuck probably got like a 10-minute, you know, PowerPoint slide about VR chat, and that's probably the most he knows about the app, you know? That's probably like the most the you know, all of his knowledge is about VR chat is probably like 10 minutes of PowerPoint slides, you know? Because it's like his strategy never didn't even care to, you know, to try to interact with these people, to understand the customers, the users. You know, he didn't care about actually going there and try to understand. He didn't care. He just wanted to do his thing that he got out of his ass, you know, and he wanted this to happen. But yeah, no, that's not how it works. Well, the trans people could also press the boo button in the metaverse, like Zuckerberg did. Yeah, maybe, but you know, like there, like in VR chat, you have a way larger set of avatars to choose from. You know, like you don't have to use these lame ass avatars without legs or something. You know, like in VR chat, you can have, you know, people have like sensors, you know, like limb trackers. They have trackers. So, and you can put a tracker on your knee, on your not on your arms, because you already have the knuckles, the joysticks, yeah. But you can put a tracker on your knee, on your feet, you know, to actually have real full body tracking of your legs and your hip, you know. And of course, you know, and people like this kind of integration. How do you say immersion? You know. And of course, you know, they were like 1,000 years behind. You know, they didn't even have legs at some point. So, you know, like he just didn't care. You know, his thing failed because he didn't care to get interested about the people who actually are living in VR. And he didn't realize that these people are not mainstream people. They are not normies. They are, you know, nerds and techies and you know, people with some specific needs, psychological needs or whatever, you know. But can VR chat do this? Well, well, actually, you can do that in VR chat and more. You can grow all kinds of things on your avatar, you know? That's also one of the problem in VR chat, by the way, is that people can grow all kinds of things, maybe a bit too much sometimes, you know, in unexpected places. Yeah. More. Yes, more. Problem? Well, you know, um, yeah, problem, you know, like when you have a, you know, like, yeah, problem. Yeah, problem. But you know, it's a very well-known problem in VR chat where, like, you know, some people have hacked away some you know, avatars that can do some ERP stuff, and sometimes in the lobbies there are, you know, like 12-year-old boys that have ordered the meta quest for Christmas, and I arrive in the lobby, and then there's a fucking guy with a big something going out of his avatar, even though it should not be allowed, but you know, because they hacked away, they found a way to, you know, like, well, voilà. So yeah, you know, there are some problems in VR chat. People are unfortunately very innovative for these kinds of stuff, you know, even when it's officially banned or forbidden, right? Well, they still manage to. Well. But you know, at the same time, like it's just it's very hard. At some point, they got the legs though. the moderation subject in VR chat and the SDK unit, the Unity SDK of VR chat is a big topic, you know? Like, yeah. But you know, if only Meta could have started thinking about it, right? But they were not even on the same planet, right? They never had a platform where actual people were interacting, you know, and living there. So they couldn't even imagine all the problems that VR chat has, you know, the real life human messy problems, you know. They couldn't even imagine because they never had any interactions in the first place. You know, they just built something that nobody wanted. So yeah, you know, funny story. I mean, sad story, but yeah, it's not because you know it's another illustration that it's not because you make something that people will come, right? Like literally, Zuck spent 73 billion dollars just to illustrate the fact that it's not because you build something that people will come. Even if you spend $73 billion, that's a lot of fucking money. $73 billion. Oh, dude, that's a lot of money. Burned, burned for nothing. Somehow the metaverse looks more like it was designed for the Wii rather than a modern VR headset. Yeah, right? Exactly. Exactly. And that's, I mean, to be fair, I guess it was also because at the time, the MetaQuest first or the MetaQuest 2 or something were actually quite less technically impressive than the other VR headsets like the Valve Index or whatever. Like, for example, I remember on VR chat, I'm not sure if it's still the case. I guess it is. I'm not sure. But I remember in VR chat, so it was like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when I was regularly playing. Uh, you had like two resolution for the avatars. You had like the quest resolution, which was a lower resolution, low poly, and the other VR headsets resolution, which was high poly. So you know, like, and I think it was something like the MetaQuest could only render avatars with less than 100,000 or 200,000 polygons, and whereas most of the other VR headsets could. Because the MetaQuest was like standalone, so all the compute had to happen on the headset, which sucks, of course. But most of the other VR headset were like linked to the PC, and so if you had a big GPU, you could render big avatars with 2 million polys, even though if it was not recommended, but it was possible. So yeah, basically, if you logged on VR chat with a MetaQuest, not a few years ago, you would be a second class citizen. You could not see all the cool special effects that people could have. You could not see the full resolution of the avatars. You could not even go into some worlds. Some worlds in VR chat were only um, accessible to people who did not have a MetaQuest because the MetaQuest was too low, computationally speaking. So, and basically, it even became a strategy to avoid having children in your lobby. You would basically make a VR world that was only compatible with non-Quest headsets, because usually most of the children on the game were offered a MetaQuest for $300 at Christmas or something, and then they came on VR chat lobbies and they said, do you play Fortnite? Do you play Fortnite? And so yeah, to avoid this, people were explicitly making no VR chat worlds not compatible with the MetaQuest. So it was a bit of a yeah. And so I understand why it was shitty like this, shitty looking, because the VR headsets of Meta at the beginning were, yeah, lower quality. Now they're actually good, I think. You know, I think the Meta Quest 3 is actually like even better in resolution and rendering than the compared to the Valve Index. So you know, they fixed that, but a few years ago maybe not, it was not the case. So yeah, an illustration, 73 billion, just to prove that people won't come if you build it. Next topic. NVIDIA. A little VC news again. AI startup base 10 raised, ooh la la, Bloomberg, I forgot. 5 billion in 300 million round backed by NVIDIA. We can do a little calculations here, right? How many percentage? Ah, no. How many of a percentage did they get? So 300 million valued at 5 billion. So it means that they got, so people funded 0.3 billion out of 5 billion valuations. So it means that 0.06, no, wait a minute. Is that how you do that? No, that's not how you do that. Wait a minute. 0.3 divided by, yeah, no, that's how you do it, no? Yeah, so they got 6%. They got 6% of the company. The new investors. That's not a lot. Bon, it depends if they already got some funding before, I guess. Yeah, 5 billion valuation is a lot. Huh? So some investors spend 300 million just to get 6% of the shares of the company. Damn. For you. Well. Ghetto. Ghetto. I see Spanish course. Yes. How long is this? 3 more. Okay. Very nice. It's very relevant to the current topic also. Very nice. Yes. Konnichiwa. Yeah, exactly. So it's another. So here, let me go back to my subject here. Base10 is an AI infrastructure company that specializes in making it easier for teams to deploy and run machine learning models in real-world applications. The company's platform is focused on AI inference, the process of running a trained machine learning model in production to generate predictions, decisions, or outputs for new real-world data. Yeah, so they already invested in Grok with the Q, NVIDIA. I guess they're also investing. Here they're investing. They're not even actually hiring. So, another one. Thank you, I'm trying my best here. Yeah, I know. Very cool. Copilot SDK in technical preview. The Copilot SDK is now available in technical preview, providing language-specific SDKs for programmatic access to the GitHub Copilot CLI. Okay. Now we'll be able to like integrate Copilot into other apps, which might benefit them, right? Because there's a lot of open source, projects like Open Code who likes this kind of stuff. All SDKs provide a consistent API with multi-turn conversations, maintain session history for context-aware interactions, tool execution, define custom tools that the model can invoke during conversations, and full lifecycle control, manage clients and session lifecycles programmatically. I'm wondering if this is related to the open code drama, or it's a week old already. I'm wondering, like, is this related to this? But okay, cool. Next, the vulnerabilities. Oops, that's not the correct. That's not the correct link. Ah, that's not the correct link. This. There's a critical Node.js vulnerability that can cause server crashes via async hooks, Stack Overflow. Aye, aye, aye. I can imagine Nat Doom scrolling the whole stream and just liking whatever he finds funny. And just linking whatever he finds funny. Yeah, probably. It will be cut in the clips, don't worry. Ah, by the way, I'm going to show you after, okay? Because it's one of the last. I'm almost done. Node.js has released updates to fix what it describes as a critical security issue impacting virtually every production Node.js app. That's a big fucking deal. Damn. That if successfully exploited could trigger a denial of a service condition. Node.js V8 makes a best effort to attempt to recover from space stack exhaustion with a catchable error. Stack space exhaustion with a catchable error, which frameworks have come to rely on for service availability. The best effort attempt to recover from stack space exhaustion with a catchable error, which frameworks have come to rely on for service availability. A bug that only reproduces when async hooks are used would break this attempt. Causing Node.js to exit with 7, so the output code, I guess, right? 7, directly without throwing a catchable error when recursions in a user code exhaust the stack space. This makes applications whose recursion's depth is controlled by unsanitized input vulnerable to denial of service attacks. I understood nothing, but I guess it's pretty bad, okay? At its core, the shortcomings stems from the fact that Node.js exits with code 7, denoting an internal exception handler runtime failure, instead of gracefully handling the exception when a stack overflow occurs in user code while async hooks is enabled. Ah, yeah. So they don't. Node.js doesn't create the like a standard exception when they when the stack overflow happens. Ebe. Async hooks is a low-level Node.js API that allows developers to track the life cycle of asynchronous resources such as database queries, timers, and HTTP requests. The issue, Node.js said, impacts several frameworks and application performance monitoring (APM) tools, including React Server Components, once again, Next.js, once again, Datadog, New Relic, Dynatrace, Elastic APM, and Open Telemetry. Oh boy, that's a that's a lot of software that's impacted. Owing the Owing to the use of async local storage, a component built atop the async hooks module that makes it possible to store data throughout the lifetime of an asynchronous operation. It has been addressed in the following versions. Ah voilà, Node.js 2020, 22.22. It's funny how it happens. Node.js 24.13 and Node.js 25.3 current. The problem also impacts all Node.js versions from 8.x, which was the first version with async hooks, to 18.x. Well, it's worth noting that Node.js version 8.00, codenamed Carbon, was released on 2017. However, this version remained unpatched as they have reached end of life. Wow. The fix put in place detects Stack Overflow errors and rethrows them to user code instead of treating them as fatal. Yeah, this is being tracked under the CVE identifier. CVSS score 7.5, so, pretty high. Despite the significant practical impact, Node.js said it's treating the fix as only a mitigation owing to a couple of reasons. Stack space exhaustion is not part of the ECMAScript specification. Ah. So does it mean that JavaScript can't do it or something? Like, what does that mean? The V8 JavaScript engine does not treat it as a security issue. And limitation with the uncaught example handler, which is designed to be used as a last resort mechanism for exception handling. Although it is a bug fix for an unspecified behavior, we chose to include it in the security release because of its widespread impact on the ecosystem. React Server components, Next.js, and virtually every APM tool are affected. The fix improves developer experience and makes error handling more predictable. Okay, of course, they recommend to update as soon as possible. I actually know about somebody who had one of these vulnerabilities. I mean, it was one of the older ones a few weeks ago that arise that were raised a few weeks ago, and somebody installed a crypto miner on his server. That's annoying, when it happens. So yeah, people should be careful about this. Other news, it's for the corporate bros, right? Cisco has fixed a 0-day CVE in one of his unified communication products. CVSS score 8.2, so pretty good, pretty high. So yeah, if you're a corporate bro, be careful. Okay. Yes, and I just before launching, I saw this tweet, and I was genuinely well, I'm just sending memes to my friends. Yeah, for sure. But I guess I don't have friends here. I'm sorry. I thought wrong. No, you thought wrong that you don't have friends, Nat, because you have friends. Okay. I'm not judging you for it, Nat. Yeah, Yannick is fully open, okay, to all the quirkiness of you, Nat. This developer in Cloud Code. So this is a guy that works on Cloud Code, okay? And he has made a tweet where he's basically saying that Cloud Code's TUI, so terminal user interface, like this thing, he people lost their minds because he said that he's using React to make the TUI. And people lost their mind about this. So basically, he said, so because he said that, alors, I never encountered this bug, but it seems that a lot of people on their machines have code a flicker, like when it thinks or whatever, there's a lot of flickering for some reason. And so to try to fix that, they rewrote the entirety of the Cloud Code UI, terminal rendering. We've rewritten Cloud Code's terminal rendering system to reduce flickering by roughly 85%. So that was a while ago. That was in December. And now he says our fix to remove flickering is rolled out again to everyone on Cloud Code. Why did we roll it back? If Cloud Code is so good, why were there bugs to begin with? Why was it so complex? Most people's mental model of Cloud Code is that it's just a TUI, but it should really be closer to a small game engine. First of all, that shocked a bunch of people because, like, why do you need a game engine to make a command line interface? You know, and then and then he followed by, for each frame, our pipeline constructs a scene graph with React. With React is a web front-end framework. Why do you need a web front-end framework to create a CLI, a command line interface? That's a bit weird. And why do you need a fucking scene graph? Bon, I've never coded TUI before, so I'm not sure about all the intricacies. It's just that, as most people answered on this thread, below this thread, I do find it weird that he uses React for this. So he uses React to then he creates the scene graph with React. Then he layouts the elements. Then he rasterizes them to a 2D screen. So he layouts the elements. He rasterizes them to a 2D screen. Then he diffs that against the previous screen. To me, that looks like typical React slope. I guess that's how React works, right? Like the virtual DOM or whatever. I've never used React, so I'm not sure. But that's what it sounds like to me. The previous screen. And finally uses the diff to generate ANSI sequences to draw. So like he actually draws the TUI as a last step. We have a 16 millisecond frame budget, so we have roughly 5 milliseconds to go from the React scene graph to ANSI written. While we test Cloud Code rigorously, our users run Cloud Code in a huge combination of terminal and operating system. Here we find that in some setups, we are triggering garbage collection too often in our rendering pipeline. Some things you can't find until you ship. This was the legacy migration. We had to port our entire rendering engine while making sure nothing user-facing broke. Doing this without Cloud Code could have taken on the order of 1-2 years for a single engineer, something we would have never been able to prioritize. Wanted to clarify this 1-2 year thing, of course, was just a back of the envelope estimate. No. Okay, and basically people are losing their mind because they're saying, as you would expect, right? Why the fuck are you using React for a TUI? TUI 60 millisecond budget? Node.js, man, any competent game dev can run a TUI on the screen inside their full 3D game under 1 millisecond. It's absurd. But the Primeagen mentioned that if Jonathan Blow sees this, he would be ashamed. And basically, everybody is saying, like, why are you... people are laughing, people are wondering, like, why is he using... Because, a TUI, a command line interface, I guess, right? My guess is that you are supposed to use a general programming framework or something, like in in Python or in Rust or in Zig or in C++ or in C, right? To make your CLI. That's what I would expect. But here he seems to not do that. And I'm wondering why. And a lot of people agree, I guess, with my impression here. So I actually want to let's ask Grok real quick. Yeah, React replies reveal developer skepticism towards React in TUI, emphasizing performance trade-offs in terminal versus declarative UI benefits, while the thread credits Claude Code itself for accelerating the complex legacy migration that would otherwise take 1-2 years. Now I want to ask, why is using React weird here? I need some technical context. Why he would do that, and if it's standard or not. Yeah, using React in the terminal feels weird, especially people who associate React with browser DOM, but it's actually a very deliberate and increasingly common architectural choice in 2025, 2026 for sophisticated TUI terminal apps. It's not standard in the classical sense. Most traditional TUI still uses ncurses style libraries, Ratatouille in Rust, textual in Python, and bubble tea in Go. But it has become one of the mainstream paths for modern React familiar teams, building rich, dynamic terminal experiences. Interesting. Because yeah, I think the open code guys are actually using TypeScript for their TUI. I'm wondering if it's similar. The code rendering pipeline, as described by the team, they treat the terminal more like a game loop scroll game engine than the classic TUI. Every frame, 60 FPS target. React builds a declarative scene graph. Layout engine computes position. Rasterizer turns the tree into virtual to the character grid. Only the minimal changes are turned into NC escape sequence and returned to STGL. They aim for 5 milliseconds to go from React tree. This is very tight, which is why flickering was how to eliminate. Let me ask real quick to like ChatGPT, especially now that I have the ChatGPT Plus. Is using React for a terminal chewy weird? Why you would do that, and if standard or not? People are contradict. I see contradicting takes here. It's not weird, but it's not the default either. It's a deliberate trade-off. Below is technical context that explains why there's conflict. What React for TUI actually means. People are not running a browser in a terminal, they are using React as a state. It's a trade-off. View engine, with a renderer that targets terminal cells instead of the DOM. But isn't it a bit bloated, no? Like compared to a raw TUI? Typical stack, Node.js, React, a terminal renderer like Ink. React is only responsible for state management, declarative UI description, diffing, and updates. The renderer converts React's virtual tree into ANSI output. It really seems like they are going full circle around the earth just to go back at the, at the next street. Like, why would someone do this? Valid reason. If your TUI has async processes, background tasks, progress states, dynamic layouts, Mm. React's model, hook effects derived state, is excellent for this. Many traditional 2E leaves become painful once they grow. Code reuse. If you already have React devs, React logic, shared business state code, then React is the terminal reduces cognitive overhead. Okay. Predictable rendering. Deterministic update. No manual screen. Compared to libraries like ncurses or bless, this is a big ergonomics win. React components can be snapshot tested, can be unit tested. Yeah, okay, so they're basically optimizing for what I guess their programmers already know, which is they know React, so they just use. Why people say it's dumb, also valid. Performance overhead. React adds reconciliation, abstraction layers, GS runtime cost for SSH tools, low latency 2E, and high frequency redraws. Terminals are raw column grids, limited styling, input driven, not event driven. React abstractions sometimes fight the medium instead of helping. Not idiomatic. The standard 2E stacks are still ncurses, with bubble T. React 2Es are niche, not mainstream. Is this the standard? No, but it is established, used by developer tooling, internal CLIs, dashboard, scaffolding. Also almost never used for system tools, SSH heavy environments, and ultra minimal binaries. Ask one question: is my 2E closer to a UI app or to a system utility? UI app, React makes sense. System utility, React is overkill. React 2E is intentional, not a joke. It optimizes developer experience, not purity. Okay. It is non-standard, but legitimate. Wrong choices, wrong choice for low-level tools, but excellent choice for complex stateful CLI, which Cloud Code arguably is, right? So, okay, it actually makes sense. If you want, I can compare. No, it's okay. Interesting. Yeah, so okay, so they're basically leveraging React's capacity to manage lots of complexity in the states of the UI. Okay. And maybe they just don't care about learning the frameworks that you would need to learn to do that, with Go or with Rust or with whatever, with C++ or something. Interesting. And last topic, just for the meme. And now we can see the meme. Voilà. Me defending my ON power of 3 solution to the coding interviewer. I think this tweet was very funny. For sure. For sure. Voilà. And I'm done. Now now I can go with the meme. Now I can read all your memes. Look, I also changed my now I can change what did I do? I changed the camera format. Now I'm wide. I'm not wider. I'm taller. Now you can see my hands like this. Do you like seeing my hands? It's the first time you see my hands. Are you happy? Are you happy to see my hands? Voilà. Yes. So yeah, and sorry not for the memes, but bon, in the tech news section, I do have to, yeah. I'm still thinking about yeah. I think in the next tech news section, I will just push all the memes and all the long questions that are not related to the tech news after, just to go quicker. Because I guess the tech news sections need to be focused. in a way, you know. And I guess I can't allow myself to get dispersed too much. I guess, you know. Yeah, I've been thinking about this, like how to manage the interactions while I'm doing the tech news. I guess I can still answer, but not too much, right? Because and I guess for the videos I can just keep them for after. For the questions I can still answer, but in a short form, and maybe I keep the long form answer for after the tech news section, you know. I'm still figuring all this out. Don't worry, bro. I was just messing with you. Yeah, don't worry. I am not worried. Actually, I was studying. Oh wow, you were studying? What were you studying then? I will try some tests to work for the government. Ah, yes, you told me. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. So you are studying for the to like become a software developer for the government? Is it what it is? I can't find job, so I gave up this way. Yeah, okay. I see. Well, yeah. Good luck. Good luck then. When is the exam? Because there's a date, I guess, for the next exam, right? Next in 3 months. Ah, yeah. Okay. Ah, yeah, so you have 3 months. Well, 3 months is okay. I guess it's enough, right? Yeah. Did you see how aura farming was Macron there with his glasses? For sure. For sure. Everyone is getting obsessed about it. For sure. For sure. For sure. For sure. For sure. The for sure with the glasses is very nice. Aviator glasses. It's not programming related. Ah, okay, it's a normal administrative job. Okay, so haha, yes, right. And it's just because he put the glasses because he has something in his eye. He has like some blood vessel that popped in his eye. You know, so I guess he had a choice between people saying that he looks kind of cool but funny with the glasses, or that he looks like a reptilian. So he chose the funny with glasses, funny but a little bit cool with the glasses, I think. He chose this compared to he's a reptilian. Especially, if you go to Davos, you go to Davos with like a red eye, that makes him look like a reptilian. Like, of course, especially since Brigitte is already struggling with like her trans conspiracy theories or whatever. If he gets even the same kinds of conspiracy theories about the reptilian stuff, bon, maybe it's too much for just the two of them. Red eye. Voilà. That's what his eye looks like. It's a bit red. Yeah. It's a bit weird, huh? People have been saying it's because he's drinking too much. He's drinking wine like twice per day, and he's just drinking too much. People have been saying that that's why. you know. It's like part of his eye, right? It's not his full eye. But yeah, I guess he does look a bit alien. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, and he looks way cooler with the glasses too. So you know, it's okay, I guess. Some eyes vase just vessel just exploded. Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I've heard people saying that the ice vessel explode with the alcohol or something, or and because he's drinking a lot, it seems I discovered he's drinking a lot of wine every day. So people have been saying he drank too much. But I'm not sure. Yeah. Ah, yeah. By the way, I enhanced the overlay. So I enhanced the overlay for the camera, and I also enhanced the rotating and also the what's going on section. You might not have noticed because nobody cares, and I didn't care. So, but over the last like 2 or 3 streams, what was written here was always the same, and it was not meant to. Actually, I have an alert in my UI to make it pulsate red when it's like 15 minutes. I haven't changed. The problem is that I always change the tab in Chrome, and so I don't see the alert. Now I have put a sound alert, the red alert that was already there, and also an alert that is pulsating on the UI of the overlay itself. So if you see this section over there pulsate white, you need to tell me, hey, you need to change. But normally I will hear something and you also will hear something, but you know, voilà, I need to force myself to say what I'm doing. So basically, this section is to say what I'm currently doing, you know, just so that when people arrive, they can understand what I'm currently working on. You know, if I'm working on an app or code or whatever, they can understand what's happening, you know? No, no. So for example, here, I'm going to change it and I'm going to say, watching Macron memes for sure. For sure, you know? Voilà, up, and oh, it changes, you know? I added a nice animation. It's very cool. And that's why and because I worked on this, that's why I only posted 2 clips on my YouTube channel. I did post 2 clips though, which is pretty cool. Let me show you. Let me show you the clips. Alors, it's on Petit Pois Clips. Ah, voilà. Here's my first clip. Here's my first clip. Alert. First clip. You know? Amazon Zarbi bot is out of control. 9 views. Pretty cool. Pretty nice. You know? And I have posted it in 2 forms. I'm going to try to do it. Send this link. Yes. And so basically, I have it in landscape. So it's a short clip. Huh? So I have tried to. So there's a landscape, and there's also a short. I also tried the short version and I tried and I succeeded into actually making a thumbnail for the short, even though you can't normally. But I find out a way, you know, some tricks to make the thumbnail real. Because I'm a hacker. Voilà. Voilà. It's 2 minutes. And I have some more in the pipeline, okay? So soon I'm going to publish them too. I have just one. My dog is laying in the other. Oh, really? Thank you. Voila. And so I think I'm going to test. Yeah, and I also tested. Like now in YouTube for the long form, for the landscape videos like this, you can actually test different thumbnails and titles. So I tried this. And it seems that it's the best, or maybe it's only shown to me. I'm not sure. That's the stream. I also need to change the thumbnails of the streams. A B test running. Well, they say they need like 2 weeks. That's a lot. Voilà, that's my different titles. View test report. Ouais. Test running. Voilà, that's my 3 A/B tests. Amazon's bot army. Attends. You see, I need to update my activity. I published my first clip. Voilà, Amazon bot armies out of control. Amazon logically declared war on retailers. Amazon targeted retailers with AI bots. I came up with these by asking Claude, ChatGPT, and Gemini to generate to choose, because I gave the thumbnails and I told them to give me a good title. So we'll see who is the best, even though I guess I might not have enough views to truly tell. But yeah, we'll see. My objective is at least to publish like 20, 30 clips and at least 6 to, but I guess I will think about stopping when I have 10 long form opinion videos on the main Petit Pois channel. But yeah, I still need to publish lots more clips. And since I start from zero, and I'm not going to pay anything, I'm not going to pay. I need everything to be organic. What are people watching? People are watching the short, actually. Look at this. The short has had 23 views, actually. Oh, that's funny. The shorts are always in another tab. That annoys me. 22 views. So the short actually is pretty successful compared, to before. Yeah. And like at 20 views, I'm sure that this is not me watching again the same video to check if it's correct. I guess here it might have been me that have generated those 5 views here. But after, it's not me, it's real people. Voilà, unique viewers, engage viewers. Unique viewers, true. But am I included? Stay to watch, swiped away. Stay to watch, 63%. That's a lot, no? I'm not sure. Well, I guess since this is my first videos, my first clips, my first whatever, I guess, YouTube will take a few days at least to calibrate the, how to deliver the videos, and probably what people might, to find who might like these kinds of videos, I guess. I'm wondering if in my main channel, the Petit Pois, because I already published some streams there and I already got some views from people, especially on the Vim, Neo Vim. No, when I tried Vim motions in VS Code, this stream got like 200 views or something, or 500 views. I don't remember. Uh, I'm wondering. I voilà. And I got 1,000 views actually, just because I wrote Vim. People. I'm going to publish Vim stuff, huh? Because as soon as I write Vim somewhere, it's also when I got my affiliate status on Twitch. It was when I switched to Vim and I put Vim in each stream, like title. I just need to do more Vim because yeah, there's also the vid afterwards clips. Yes, good quality content. Bah, 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 bah. Wow. Yeah, it was just after I was uh, surprised by the by the jump scare. So that was my reaction after the jump scare. Voilà, because I got jump scared, I said ba 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 because I couldn't talk because I was jump scared. And what it wow. Wow. You have a stream 1K views, you're famous. Yeah, this is mais alors I don't yeah, and basically this is funny, huh? This one, so is the stream. So yeah, 1K views because I said Vim, but actually in this stream I am not using Vim. I'm using Vim motions inside VS Code, and I said Vim because I didn't know the differences or whatever. And basically, no, they don't show the comments. But when there were comments, all the comments, there was like 5 or 10 comments, and all the comments said like, actually, this is not Vim, this is Vim motions. You are not actually using Vim, okay? I am a Vimmer. I know what I'm talking about. All the comments were basically to correct me. So, it's funny how it works. This is not Vim. Exactly. That's what the comments were about. They don't show anymore. So when you private a video, all the comments are raised. I didn't know that. Well, there were like, yeah, between 5 and 10 comments, and all the comments were like correcting me that no, actually, this is not Vim. Sorry. You are lying. This is clickbait. Try not listed video. Try to put as not listed. Unlisted. Voilà. Not 10, 3 actually. 3. But yeah. Vim bindings is different from Vim. Exclamation point equal. Also, using Copilot, why? Emoji tongue out. Not using your mouse on VS Code is a waste of storage space at that point because you're not even using the power VSC offers. I respect it that you're trying to learn, but just giving an LIAM question and copying it doesn't seem to help with learning the emotion. Yes, I mean, he's right. That's why I stopped trying to use the emotions. MMM. Beaver boy. Hell, you clearly haven't been on a split keyboard for very long, as you are typing 10 words per minute at 70% accuracy. You are clearly new to the emotions, as you are slow as hell with them. And lastly, you are not using Vim. Of course, it's hell for you, who is brand new to all these things, yet trying to use them all together at the same time. That's right. Snow Demon really, catch me with his truths. It's crazy. Thank you, Snow Demon, for stating the fact of the matter. Dude, I had a channel one time to publish green screens. I had a video of Silvio Santos, a very famous person in Brazil, television, blah, blah. People from TV shows used my green screen. Really? My video had like 2 seconds with 200,000 views. Oh, damn. After this, they gave me a strike. Oh, really? Fuck you, Snow Demon. Yeah. No, but you know, Snow Demon. Well, typical, software engineer, autistic nerd kind of talking. Actually, this is not true. Let me tell you what's actually happening, even though it's actually pretty obvious. But I'm here to explain to you how the real world works, okay? Can find the green screen searching for Silvio Santos green screen. Really? For sure. For sure. Silvio Santos green screen. Is this? Mr. Gustav? The third one. There's 45 views. I know, because maybe you got a strike after. Oi. Yeah, you gotta try, yeah. Musical station. Are you sure this is your channel, Nat? Oh, this is similar. You posted something similar? Oh wait, this is not your channel. My channel was Natsu's Grid Screens. Ah, it's not there. Ah, it's this guy from the anime that your name is taken from. Wow. Oh, it's 6 minutes. Whoa, I'm not watching that. Damn. I, I'm 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 just curious at this point. Ah, this is mine. Ah, ah oui, removido. Removido. Ah ouais, 78,000 views. Ah yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's the reason that I come to Natsu. Ah, okay. Wow. What the fuck is that? Mhm. Actually, fairy tale. Ah, is it the? Did you? Did you? Wait, fairy tale. You talked to me about something, no? Ah, yeah. Ah, this is where this guy is from. I know this guy, the blue cat. Mm. But I was in chat on XAT. I don't know who is this guy before I choose my name. Ah, okay. Then I had a friend called Happy, and she said, "Oh, you need to put your name as Natsu because we are best friends and they are too." I put my name as Natsu. Ah, she's called Happy. Ah, very cool. Ah, you see, look, it's glowing now, you know? It's pee wee wee wee. Watching videos random. She's loose. The cat is the happy. Ah no, the cat is the happy. Ah, okay. Lucy was my virtual girlfriend in that era. Wow. Ah yeah. You've been having virtual girlfriends for a long time now. Damn. Since 2012. Damn. Yeah, because this is fairly yeah, fairly old. I think I thought those guys were part of One Piece because I guess the anime style is very similar, you know, and the name too. I earned my laptop in 2012. Yeah. 2012, I remember I was 17 in 2012, so you were probably 14 or something, right? Or 13. Mm, mm, mm. 13 or 14, yeah. Yeah. Best epoch to have virtual girlfriends. Really? Why? Please argument your position. Why? I saw big pogos one time. It was very nice. Big pogos of what? Of what? I mean, of who? Because women are not objects, of course. I am a woman respecter myself, you know. WhatsApp virtual girlfriend. There were WhatsApp virtual girlfriends already? But it was before LLMs, so how does it work? Or did you have like like a girl that you only interacted through WhatsApp? You know, like what we do as a teenager. I also had that once. You know, I remember it was on Dofus. She was from the chat where we changed numbers about. I okay, I see. Yeah, you know, on Dofus, it's like you know the French MMO game. When I was small, when I was 13, I also met a girl on this game, and she became my. You know, we like, you know, she became like my girlfriend or whatever. But I didn't saw her. I never saw her. But you know, teenagers are funny. But I really did her dirty. I really did her dirty. I don't know if I want to say. uh, I have my anxiety patch yet. Let me see. Oh, wow. This was my website. Oh damn. Oh, it's like oh not in France. This was oh yes, I see. Oh, it was a chat. It was a chat. Oh damn. Kissy Love. My name is Kissy Love. I'm Kissy Love. What the hell? Whoa. Oh la la. But that's crazy that you had like a chat embedded into these kinds of websites. Damn. It's pretty good. You know, like in France, the equivalent was a Skyblog. Skyblog to us was voila, like this. It was like the French XAT, I guess. You know, like where like you know teenagers, voila, teenagers would like do stuff. Putain, I just want the fucking image. Fuck you. Voila, this is the vibe. Skyblog. Voila, these kinds of stuff, you know? Like, welcome to, we know we said like, welcome to my Skyblog, leave comments, leave comes. We said comes, not comments. Less the comes. Oh my god, you know, like the millennial, every millennials had a Skyblog in middle school, you know? So I guess that's the equivalent of this, you know? But we never had like real-time chats like this, you know? It didn't, yeah, it was not a thing. At my, when I was small, like the chats were very, very rare. And usually it was like not made for children, you know, because you could have like pedophiles or whatever, you know, who could, you know? So usually you had to be you know, over 18 or at least over 16, I think. Use a chat. But sometimes we still did it, you know, we still infiltrated. It's the same thing, probably. They had like the HTML to share another page. Ah, yeah. Ah, yeah, the embedding. Ah, yeah. No, it's a different one. This one is more like that girls posting emo photo. Yeah, I mean, it was girls and boys, but it was girls were very much into that because when I was in middle school, all the popular girls, you know, they would have a Sky blog, and basically when you were popular in middle school, people would leave comments on the posts, on the photos or whatever, you know, and basically like the you know Somebody's popularity could be gauged by how many comments they had on their post, on their latest Skyblog post or whatever. It's so funny. And the Skyblog was made by a fucking French radio called Skyrock, which was, like just a random French radio. And they did that, and an entire generation just adopted it. Like, look at those funny emoji, furry emoji here. What is the name? In Brazil, we had Fotolog. Ah. Skyblog. This is the name of the French one. Skyblog. Voilà. Symbol of the 2000s. Yeah. Oh yeah. When I was in middle school, everyone, like, if you wanted to have like a social presence online in your middle school, you had to have a Skyblog. Otherwise, are you really serious? Why is there a pride flag? Where? In the here? Behind? Too woke for me. Yeah, I guess. Yannick. MySpace, I remember that. Yeah, MySpace. I never had the MySpace. I guess I went straight to Facebook. Some people had, I remember, MySpace. But I never. I guess like MySpace died when I was like 10 or 11. So when I was 12, 13, and I just started to, well, I guess it was like at this moment where most people would have a Skyblog, and then everybody went to Facebook. But first, in France, at least in France, the first like social media that people had and were actually very dedicated was Skyblog. Ah, Skyblog. Yeah, like it was stuff like this. Can I have the fucking big? I just want to see the photo. Voila, stuff like that. Voila. And people made skyblogs for themselves, but also for, there was like fan blogs, like about singers, about news, TV shows, yeah, singers, Spice Girls, Laurie, French singer, Matt Pokora, French singer too. Star Academy, it was a TV show, like a reality TV show. People were so dedicated to, with this, like, man, whoa. And I think I tried to make one, but I didn't care enough to actually post regularly the photos and do all the lobby around promoting my Skyblog, I guess. Kind of what I do today with my apps. Nothing changed after all. So yeah, it's a unicorn from Adventure Time, Lady Something. This montage was like everyone using the chat in that time, so every character had a person behind. Oh wow. So Lady Unicorn was another girl. iCarly was a big thing in France or Germany. Is Carly? No. We had a lot of web shows in the iCarly time here. Carly? What the hell is Carly? I never heard about Carly. Carly? What is Carly? iCarly? 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 Sitcom. Ah. TV show. Ah. I never heard about this. iCarly? I mean, 2007, maybe it was just after when I was small. Because I think 2000, oh wait, it's 2007, 2012. So I guess I was just a bit too old, I guess. Yeah. Because 2007 was 5 years before I was 17. So it was, I was, yeah, 12. I know, maybe I was, no. Yeah, no, I guess I just didn't watch, I didn't have those TV channels, I guess. Because in France, I had, I mean, in Guadeloupe back then, I had Fox Kids. I have Fox Kids, Disney Channel, Canal J, French channel, and I had like something on the cable. I remember that had some American things translated, but not that much. Oh wait, I have no memory about this show. It's like it's the first time I'm seeing it. Fox Kids, yeah, Fox Kids. That became Jetix just when I stopped watching it. Yeah, Fox Kids had a kids cartoon channels basically channel for kids like Disney Channel, like others. And Fox Kids to me was my favorite channel because there was all the Pokemon, I think, all the Pokemon episodes were on Fox Kids, and there was and also there was a lot of uh like cool series like in 3D or something. It was not just 2D drawing. It was a lot of 3D stuff, and I liked because it was more modern or whatever. Yeah. Fox Kids was crazy. Then Jetix, yeah, Metabots. Oh my god, Metabots. Oh yes, Metabot on Fox Kids. Oh my god. Oh, this intro. I actually watched the intro of this fucking series last year or something because I got like a mental shock, a mental memory shock. Like, oh, I remember about this. I forgot, but like the memory randomly resurfaced. This fucking show was so good. But of course, I was a child, so I guess I didn't have the same, uh, you know, tastes in the scenario and stuff as today. But just it was just so cool. And oh la la, the intro, Metabots or Medabots, or maybe it was Metabot in French. I don't remember. Medabots with Metabé. Yeah, Medabots. Yeah. Attends, I need to watch this. Let's just watch this intro because the theme, was so good. Oh, it's the best intro theme I've ever remember. For the like children's series. Intro, as you say. Bon. Oh ouais. Oh là là. Oh là là. Ah ouais. Ah ouais. Ah ouais. And I guess because in France, this generic was also dubbed in French. So I guess in Brazil it was also dubbed in Portuguese, right? Oh, but I'm taking when huh? What the three spies? That three hot cartoon girls. Ah, yeah, Totally Spies in France at least. I don't know what was the name. Totally Spies, right? Totally Spies. Yes, I also like Totally Spies. And it was the kind of cartoon that as a boy you couldn't really say that you liked Totally Spies, but Totally Spies was fucking good. And all the boys were still watching Totally Spies, huh? Just because the girls were cute, of course, you know. But because also the animation is very good and the stories was actually pretty like cool. I think the stories were cool. In Brazil, it's Tres Espias Demais, something like through some spies. Okay, but very nice too. Not just because of the girl. Yeah, it was very fun. Yeah, and there was Jerry, right? Jerry, this guy. You remember this guy? What did you post, Yanni? When I was a kid, high school. What is this? Green with Envy. What is this? Season 1, 14, 15. It's with Totally Spies? It was very fun. He always take the girl from school or something at the edge of the girl. Ah, okay. Oh, really? They were that young? They don't look like that young. Huh? I mean, yeah, I do remember. I thought they were just at university or something. I just thought they were at university. You know? And yeah, and Medabots, the generic was also no, I already said that. Right? It was dubbed. Right? Because when I was small, I don't know if it's the case still, but I guess not for the latest anime or whatever. But when I was small, most of the generics, like the intro themes were dubbed in French. Not anymore. It was so good before. Now not anymore. What the fuck is this? Oula. Oula. Well, maybe I should not search too much. Let me see Medabots in Portuguese. Yeah, it's translated in Brazil. Yes, right? In France too. In France too. Right? So you can have Medabots FR. Attends, intro. Générique. Voilà. Oh là là. The quality of the time, huh? We were watching on very the resolution was very fucked up back then. Tes amis sont là. Labado. Attends, and now I want to see Metabots opening Portuguese. Voilà. Oh, that's funny. It was so different. Ah, this one is from Portugal. Ah, so it's not the same. Alors, attends. Brazil. Damn, Portugal. Ah, voilà. Brasileira. Ah, voilà. Now this is the correct. Ah, it's way better. Yeah. Oh, yeah. In Brazil, Portugal is not known for your dubs. This one is better than the French one. What? No, the French is the best. You know, I guess Brazil and France are known, but you good dubs. But yeah. Back then everything was dubbed in the language of the. You know, like for example, Pokemon. Did you know the first Pokemon opening? Were you like old enough? You know, like in France, it was in French. You know, Então, Brazil. I want the images. I can't have the images. I guess not. I'm not sure. Brazil, France. I'm telling the truth. Wait. Yannick, you never watched the first season of Pokemon, right? This one. Yeah, because it's too old for you. It's too old, right? I was never a big fan of Pokemon. Yeah. I mean, it's just that at my generation, you couldn't not be a fan because it was too big, you know? Just to be. Ah, yeah, then the the opening is very good. A bit slutty, but good. Wow. Played. Ah, yes. Played the German dub. Yes, German. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I don't know how is the real Portuguese dub, but in Brazil we have a meme from the DBZ anime, Dragon Ball Z. I heard a lot of times the DBZ dub in Portugal was made. Wait a minute. I'm just updating this. Portugal was made to be comedy. The DBZ dub in Portugal was made to be comedy. I'm not sure if Goncalves was here, he could answer, but in Brazil, Portugal is like a meme in dubs. Sometimes. Really? Portugal's official DBZ dubs. Wow. Hilarious. What the fuck? Wow. Oh, oh wow. Wow. It's an opera. It's an opera. To be fair, sometimes some of the French dubs are also goofy like this, you know? But even though it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty, wow. What the fuck is happening here? Mamma mia. Wait, do they get so much bread rots? I don't know. Ah. I, yeah, it does seem to be comedy at some point, yeah. What the fuck? Oh wow. Oh wow, that's crazy. Ah! Why is it written in French too? Oh my god, it's Miss Portugal 97. Oh, what the fuck is wrong with you, Portugal? What the fuck? Oh, Miss, yeah, no, Miss Portugal. You know, like the beauty, the beauty competition. You know, for this. What the fuck? What the hell? Oh, what the fuck? But you know, it makes me think about the Staros dub in French. You know, Staros. Voilà. That's it. That's and this Pokemon had this sound during the entire series. Every time there was this Pokemon that came, it just it was the sound of the Pokemon, you know? Uh, and funnily enough, the Starry was the reverse. It was like a very masculine, like, oh, you know? So there's this weird thing where like a masculine Starry evolves into a feminine Staros. Maybe they saw the rust, you know, the rust pipeline, you know, before it actually arrived. Eh? By the way, Yannick, you were kind of right about Germany. I know, I know. Brazil is still the best. Sorry. What is this? Brazil BR. It's top tier. Why is top tier? It's considered to be the best in the world. The voice actors are necessarily actors which guarantee a deep emotional performance. Italy IT. It has the oldest and most respected dubbing tradition. Oh wow. Top tier, most organized and technically perfect industry. Almost 100% of foreign content is dubbed. Mhm. Mexico, top notch. Okay. It's all great, right? Oops, sorry. Yeah. Not France is lower, very good too, okay? Ah yeah, there's also Point Sirène. Yeah. Some, some are just goofy. What the fuck is this? Pussy, pussy, pussy. Yeah, Point Sirène. Et pussy, 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 sirène. Pussy, pussy, pussy. Ah, do they kept giving it the same, like, because I guess this is more recent. Let's check real quick. Oh my god, the faces are not the same. It's the new ones. Wow. I mean, no, it's still it's the English version. It's still oh. Sometimes I still think about plus and minus. Ah, posipi negapi. Ah oui. Yes, you see, I know what you mean. Posipi negapi. Why was it funny? I forgot. Posipi negapi. Why is it funny? Ah yeah. In Brazil, I guess most people just know about Matchamp from France. Oh, really? Damn. Matchop. Matchop or Matconio. Matchopper or Maconio. Damn, why you translate the name of Pokemon? Ah yeah, because you didn't see the names before, so you imagined that it was Pussy P. Oh yeah. Okay, I see. Okay, I see it now. Yeah, I remember now. Ah, yeah. Yes. Okay. I see. Yeah. 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 No. Yeah. No. Okay. Now I see. It's pretty funny. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Mega. Yeah. Mega. Definitely. Yeah. It's mega. No. Wow. Yeah, I forgot about this. You know, that's one advantage of starting to be old is that I forget. So every time I rediscover, and I'm entertaining myself. This is so bad. Pussy, pussy, N word, pussy, N word. Mais I can say Negapi, no? It's the name of the Pokemon. No? It doesn't, that's all. Oof. Oh. Look at this. 7 euro, 7 years ago, with an XD, OKLM. That's like French slang to say, you know, cool, relax. Ballet. Is there any other openings to review before I actually switch to the code? Mm, did we review everything? Oh, Teletubbies! Teletubbies! In French, it's Teletubbies. I think it's like in English, Teletubbies. Mais Yannick don't know those because it's too old. Teletubbies. I hate them. You hate them. You don't even like the vacuum cleaner was cute, was cool. You know what? Ah, you know this? This one is good. Ah. Allez, Simpson. Die Simpsons. Ah, we had this one too. Caillou. And it was also Caillou, the name in French. I thought this shit was Brazilian. Ah. Hey, you know what? I think I always wanted to watch this, but no channel would ever show this. But I always wanted to watch it, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Ah, wait, 1987. Maybe it was too old for me, actually. It's sad that they didn't like broadcast it, you know? Popeye. Oh, wow. 1933. Oh, damn. But that's an American thing, Popeye, right? Well, that's long, 24 minutes. Allez, two more. I have no idea what this is. Mm. Ah, I have some slight memories of this. Ah, Inspector Gadget! No, that's a French one. French cartoon. In Belgium, or probably. Ah, it's the 3D one. Ah. Wait, hey, this one is not from 1983, yeah? This one is like from 2010 or something. The original was a cartoon. This is the 3D version updated, whatever. Yeah. We also have an original one. Yeah, so like the one I remember, Inspector Gadget. Voilà. Attends. Let me. I guess let's just watch one. We watch it once, you know? Voilà. This is the one I watched. And I think this is the first series, anime cartoon series. Yeah, I mean, we have a song for that. Ah, yeah, so you have a dub, yeah. Yeah, so if I do German, there's no. German? Intro Deutsch. Ah. Did you have this one in Brazil too? Oh, look, Fox Kids. That's what I'm talking about. You see? You see, Yannick? Fox Kids. That's what I was talking about. That's the thing I was watching. And I also liked it because the eggs looked like fries, you know, at McDonald's. So it was appetizing. I don't know. It kind of looked like McDonald's, you know? Like there is a part of my brain that associated the Fox Kids logo with McDonald's. I don't know. You know, because there's the fries and it's red like McDonald's. I don't know. We've had the fat guy and the thin guy, the barbarians. Viking from France, I forgot the name. Asterix. Ah, yes, Asterix. Yes, yes, yes. Attends, let me. Okay, we'll watch everything. Oh, wow. Brazilian. Inspector Boogie Ganga? Inspector Boogie Ganga? Is that. No, that's the old. Inspector Boogie Ganga. Ah no, that's Portugal. Mais why does he have a mustache? Why does he have a mustache? Ah, voilà. Mais, mais, he has a mustache? He didn't have a mustache, no? Wait a minute. Am I going crazy? Wait a minute. What the fuck did you do to him? Look, he has a mustache on every plan, on every take. What the fuck? Inspector Boogie Ganga. Mais I'm not crazy, right? Like if I go Inspector Gadget, like the base Inspector Gadget. He doesn't have a mustache. Mais ouais, look, he doesn't have a mustache. Wait, where is the... Here, he has a mustache. You added a mustache. Brazil added a mustache to Peter Gadget. Yeah, the dub, not very. Yeah. And they say Inspector Gadget, not Inspector Boobibanga, Boogie. So, you know, it's funny. The theme is the same in English. No, it don't have a mustache. It's a special episode. Ah. Inspector Boogie Gonga. Boogie Gonga is like gadgets, but it's more like the mess from the gadget. Ah. Ah, voilà. Ah, yeah, so it was just this episode. Yeah, you're right. It was just one episode. Yeah. Inspector Boogie Gonga. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Well, I'm going to go pee a little bit and then I go back and I'm actually a very super productive. Okay, I will code like crazy. I will code like they've never coded, like I've never coded before. They don't do coding like me. But after. The coders call me daddy. They want me to run the coding. The coders call me daddy. Do you know if vids work by any chance? Yes, vid does work, but now I go for real.